Hi everyone, Jaime Kalman Chipko here, and thank you for tuning in to another episode, if you will, of Jaime Magic. So this is my opportunity to just meet with you and share with you tips and tools and techniques that I'm utilizing that are really helping me to move through, this very uncertain time. And I'm also a person who is very prone to anxious thoughts and anxiety and depression have been two of my teachers throughout my life. And so working through my anxious feelings and sometimes the way that my mind and body will feel has really helped me to help other people as well. So hopefully some of the things that I share today will help you as well. And again, just to remind you, I'm not a licensed psychotherapist, nor am I a licensed counselor. I'm not a doctor. So none of the things that I ever talk about in my videos are any kind of prescription. I don't diagnose things. I'm not qualified to do that. And I like to stay in my lane, which means I like to work with what I know, and I like to share things that have been successful for me. But if we ever talk about things like anxiety or depression, just please keep that in your awareness that, those are really clinical issues, and it's always wise to have a professional doctor or therapist who you work with. The things that I teach are successful stress management solutions. So I can help people reduce their stress and anxiety on a behavioral level around using inspired techniques like emotional freedom techniques, which is a tapping technique. It's based on acupressure, and it helps to calm the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that is firing that fight, flight, or freeze response. And I use that with myself. I use it with my daughter. I use it with clients, and it is a stress relief technique. It's a self-soothing method that allows you to just calm down so you can once again reconnect with that fabulous prefrontal cortex of your brain that actually allows you to have some rational thoughts and make clear decisions. Because when we're stressed, we can't access those wonderful parts of our brain that help us to move forward in a healthy and rational way. So I just wanted to share that we were going to talk about anxiety today a little bit around something very specific. And that is, I am a mother to a 7-year-old daughter. She's in the first grade, and we've been doing school on Zoom, known as distance learning, since last year. So March 12th, 2020, which was just a few days over a year ago. So we had our year anniversary this past Friday of being home from school. She's been doing distance learning from home, and I've been helping. And we were very lucky in that we were able to team up with another family who happened to be in our class, who we created a small, intimate learning pod. And the reason we did this was to help create some socialization and some feeling of normalcy during this very abnormal time. And, my husband and I have a oneling. She is an only child, no siblings. So the pandemic was really hard for her initially when we were in lockdown for those first 3 months where we didn't see anyone or interact at all. My daughter actually started to pull her eyelashes out. She literally had no eyelashes on her right eye, and she had maybe half on her left. And she would rub them, and they would get swollen. And we had to have, Zoom appointments with our pediatrician. We had to actually go to an eye specialist over the summer once it was safe to do that. And, it was anxiety. And she's prone to anxious thoughts and feelings anyway. Wonder where she gets that from. But, I tried my best when I was pregnant and when I was raising her to keep my anxiety in check, because I definitely did not want to teach her how to be anxious. But you know what? I did the best I knew with what I knew. And unfortunately, I think that I have modeled for her some anxious responses, and she's very, very sensitive to physical sensations like I am. You know, if she's not feeling well, she has a hard time focusing on anything other than what doesn't feel well. If she has a cut or a bruise or a bump or, you know, a pain, she's ultra focused on it. She has a hard time detaching, which I relate to. So I relate to my child and what she tends to be sensitive to, but that also makes it hard to, you know, when you're empathizing, you have to be aware of practicing like, how should I say it? Like taking a step in their shoes and then take a step out of their shoes. Because if you stay in their shoes, then you're swimming around in the problem with them and you're empathizing so much that you're not actually able to hold that space of calm neutrality that they need you to hold for them. So they're really looking to us, the parent, for that, you know, indication of how to feel. And so if my anxiety is like up here, then I'm not going to really be assisting her to move out of her anxiety because I would be then demonstrating anxiety. So I returned to my practice of mindfulness meditation and tapping with EFT to help me, to help her. Because the truth is, as they will teach you in any 12-step program, if you know anyone who is in an addiction recovery program, one of the wonderful aspects of AA and NA and Al-Anon is they tell you clean up your side of the street before you try to go help somebody else. So, you know, with conscious parenting, it's the same thing. We have to look at our own triggers and neutralize our own triggers and really choose our responses before we can start to help our child. And if we are triggered, then we're not a whole lot of help to a triggered child. So here's the paradox. We're going through completely uncharted waters with the pandemic. So all of a sudden you have parents who are parenting 24/7, zero breaks, you know, and you're triggered and you're trying to deal with uncertainty, but then you have a child who is triggered and dealing with uncertainty, but you're not supposed to show that you're triggered. You're supposed to seem confident and like everything is fine, and that is a very difficult thing to do. So we need to A, forgive ourselves for not being perfect during the pandemic and before and beyond it, right? We're all doing the best we can, and as the wonderful Maya Angelou once said, you know, do the best you can with what you know, and as you know better, do better. And that's what we're doing. So today I want to show you a way that I am trying to do better. Okay, here's the deal. My daughter is returning to school for the first time in a year tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. She's going to go from 8 to 11 a.m. Just one day a week this week, and then next week she has to do it again, but on a different day. And unfortunately, my beloved teacher will not be there supporting her. We are going to have a substitute, and you know, that's just the way it is. But I mean, obviously as a parent, you can understand that that's not like the preferred situation. You'd really hope it was, you know, the teacher that could be there so that the child had like that person that they trust and feel safe with. And you know, it's also exciting to finally meet them in person, but it is what it is. So I have been learning that children really need consistency and predictability in their world. And in fact, we do too. And you know, adults, we're just kids in bigger bodies, right? So we need consistency and predictability too. But guess what? We don't have that right now. You know, we don't have that. So we need to stop focusing on having it, right? Because it's just not there right now. The only consistency that we have right now is constant change, and that every time we get used to something, it's probably going to change again. And you know what? This is going to make us fantastically resilient. It's going to help make us flexible. And the truth is, we don't grow if we don't push up against something. We need to push up against things in order to grow, right? There's that wonderful quote, what was it? Smooth seas make terrible sailors, or something like that. I'm probably ruining it, but it's something like that, right? And my favorite quote is, a ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are for. So here we are. My daughter and I are about to set sail on uncharted seas yet again as we return to campus for the first time tomorrow. Now here's the thing, I can't go on campus with her because you have to drop them off at a gate and somebody will take them to a spot where they will sit, and then her substitute teacher will take her to a classroom with half of her class, and she'll be there for about 3 hours, and then I'll pick her up. at the gate. So she is feeling anxious about having to be dropped off without me being there. She is going to a brand new part of the school because when we went into the pandemic lockdown, she was in kindergarten, which was in a very like sort of sacred, nurtured little area of the campus. She will be going to a new part of the campus that she is not as familiar with. And, you know, truth be told, she wouldn't be familiar with any of it right now because it's been a year. But my job is to listen to her feelings, validate her fears. You know, I don't want to say things like, don't be scared, no, it's going to be fine. You know what? That doesn't validate the fear. The fear is very legitimate, right? It's a valid fear. It's scary because it's uncertain. It's scary because it's new. It's scary because it's a change. It's scary because I won't be there, you know, and she's been home for a year. Now, thank goodness we had this little learning pod so that she could have socialization while learning. And that pod with this other child has been really important for us and very helpful for us. It's also become incredibly comfortable. And as we just said, we don't grow when we're comfortable. So, you know, shaking up the pod and having to go back, you know, to campus, you know, is definitely something that is uncomfortable. And it's tempting to want to stay in that warm, cozy pod, you know, where we have more consistency, predictability, and control and comfort. But then the question that I had as a parent was, will she then miss out on a growth opportunity? Because if the majority of her class is returning, then, you know, she will miss out on that if I opt, you know, to keep her home and just to continue with the pod because that's what's comfortable and that's what's working for us. Now, I do have that option, and, you know, it's always in the back of my mind, but I am pushing myself to step into this growth challenge because I do think she and I do need some detachment. And I think that she also needs to experience how confident she can be. And the truth is that if I validate her feelings, saying, you know, if she says to me like, you know, I'm so scared, and she did, she started crying when I told her she was crying. She said, but I need, you know, where are you going to be? I need you to go on with me. And I said, I understand. I really get that you are upset about this, and I really get that you're feeling scared. I get it. And I relate to it. And every single one of your friends and teachers feels this way too. But what I know, without a doubt, is that you can do this. And so can all of your friends, and so can your teachers. We've got this. We can do this. And the reason I know that you can do this, is what I told her, I said, is because I have watched you, you know, be dropped off for pod, you know, and I've watched you, you know, be dropped off for classes before the pandemic. You've done it before. It's in your body. You have a muscle memory. Even if you don't remember it up here, your body will remember. And what is amazing is that you are going to feel so good about yourself when you come back, because you will have done something that was scary. And it's okay to feel scared while you're doing it. Just know that I have 100% confidence that you can do it. So you don't have to be confident in yourself right now. I can be confident for you because I know you can do it. And, you know, and then what I do is I can offer her some coping mechanisms. I can give her some, you know, some tips and some techniques that she can apply when I do drop her off and I'm not there and she's not feeling confident. I can give her some tricks. And here's a couple of tricks to help you if you want to try them out with your child, whether it's tomorrow or next week or after spring break that you go back. So tip number one is to have your child in the morning before you leave. Try to make that morning as calm and as predictable as possible. So really build in extra time. Get yourself up extra early is what I'm going to do, okay? I'm going to get up extra early so I have my time to meditate and journal and tap and do my whole thing. And I'm going to do another video for you on how to tap to release the anxiety around sending your child back to school. So we're going to do that next. Not in this video, I'm going to do it in another one. Otherwise, this will be like a 6-hour video. But we're just going to talk about how to get our mindsets and our child's mindset, you know, ready for this big day. So it's a transition. So what's going to set us up for success is if we try to build in opportunities for the child to feel calm before they go into the anxious experience. And so what we're going to do, sorry, I have a little friend peeking out. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with creating a morning for them that is more seamless. Okay, so have the clothes picked out the night before. Know what you're going to be, making for breakfast. Also, make sure that you have their things ready to go the night before. So whatever they have to take with them, they have that. And then what we want to do next is teach them that we can, I am totally getting interrupted right now. I apologize. Music class just moved in. What? Oh, PE? Okay, we're doing PE. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be a mobile video that we're doing together, folks. So let me move this, okay, and I will bring you in here with me. So, hey, look, this is good. This is also a reminder why going back to school a few hours a day may not be such a bad thing. I can do my videos with you guys without being interrupted every 20 seconds. Because PE or music is happening in my living room with a pod. So anyway, sorry for the disruption. So set the morning up so that it's easy. Do as much as you can the night before so that there's not too much like scrambled energy in the morning. I think also what's helpful too is that you build in quiet time for them in the morning. So connection is the most important thing. If my daughter is feeling scared or uncomfortable or anxious, the worst thing I can do is add stress on top of that. Like, be like, we're running late. We have to go. We have to go. I tend to do that, and I get all ramped up, and I'm like, we got to go. We're going to be late. We're going to be late. That is not helpful, especially when the child is stressed and doesn't want to go. So what we want to do is instead make sure that we connect with them first. Because what you'll notice is when you start barking at them to hurry up, they're going to slow down even further. All of a sudden, they're not going to be able to find a pair of socks that are comfortable, or they forget how to tie their shoes, or they have to take a certain toy with them in their backpack, and all of a sudden, of course, they can't find it. So those things are going to happen when they're in distress. Now, what we want to do is allow our child to experience the discomfort they're feeling and validate it. So say, I can see that you're feeling, if your child is showing you that they're feeling distress, you can acknowledge that. And you can say, I can see that you're feeling a little anxious, or I can see that you're feeling a little worried. Do you want to tell me more about that? Is there anything I can do to help? Would you like a hug? Or you can also, allow them to bring it up to you without you cornering them, saying, tell me what you're feeling and thinking. Instead, just build in connection time in the morning. So maybe sit with them while they're eating breakfast and just talk with them. And it doesn't even have to be about what's going to happen that day. It can just be connecting with them and talking with them, or maybe read them a story, but just be there with them so that you can validate whatever feelings they do share with you. And validating them just looks like this. It's just, okay, so I hear that you're feeling scared. I got that. I get it. It's okay. It's okay to feel scared. This is a new challenge, and I know that you're scared, and that's okay. I have complete confidence in you. I know you can do this, okay? So that would be an example of validating the feeling rather than saying, don't be scared, it's fine, it's just school, whatever, get over it, So what we want to do is have that connection time. If you're connected with your child, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable getting dressed and getting ready to go. Now, you may be in a rush yourself getting ready to go to work. So try to make sure that you've taken care of yourself first. That's why I'm suggesting maybe getting up a little earlier, get your own side of the street cleaned up, take care of yourself first, and then be there totally present to your child. That's going to make it a lot smoother. And you don't have to necessarily coddle them through the experience. I'm not saying you have to go and wipe their butt for them and all these other things. There are ways of being present and connecting and still expecting them to like put their dishes away and go brush their teeth by themselves and go get dressed by themselves. It's not like we're reverting back to them being babies. We do still expect them to be, independent, but we're just being present to the fact that, this could be a little bit more of a big feeling day. And so a way to make it smoother is to just build in time, right? So create that space, create that time, and set the tone. Another thing that I do with my child is we practice setting intentions. So I'll say to her, like when I'm connecting with her, for example, I'll say, or when we're walking to school together or driving to school together, I might say, you know what, my intention for the day is to be open and calm and a good listener, right? So I'll name things that I want to be. And then I'll say, what's your intention for the day? And then she'll check in with herself and she'll share her intention with me. And then I always tell her, remember, if your day winds up, going in a different direction, you can always reset your intention. You can always pick a new intention. And remember, asking them to what their intention for the day is, you're just asking them what it is they most want to feel, right? Because we often think that we want things, but really we want what it is that thing makes us feel, right? So I always ask my daughter, how would you like to feel today? What is your intention for today? She might say, I want to feel happy and peaceful, or she'll say things like, my intention is to be a good friend, or, to be kind, to be patient. So it's just a great practice. We've been doing this since preschool because she had, some separation anxiety. And so it helped her to feel more like in control of her day to choose how she wanted to feel. Like, how cool is that? You can't choose many things in life, but to choose the way you'd like to feel, well, that's pretty cool, right? So the other thing is you can teach them a really fun trick called anchoring, and this comes from hypnosis. And as you may know, I am certified in hypnosis. And an anchor is when you do something physically with your body that helps you to ground in and anchor in a thought or a feeling. So you're sort of pre-programming a response that you would like to have when you are stimulated in a way that would normally trigger you to feel a negative feeling. You can actually anchor in the feeling that you would like to create in your body when you're faced with that trigger. So what I do with her is I give her this big hug and I snuggle her in real good. And then while we're snuggling, I say, okay, let's put our fingers, crisscross our fingers like this. This is you and me hugging. And whenever you miss me today, all you have to do is cross your fingers like that and you'll remember what this snuggly, cuddly hug feels like. It'll just flood your memory and you'll remember just being tucked into my arms, feeling so safe, so snuggled, so loved. Okay, so whenever you want to feel that, whenever you're missing me, just remember we're always together, always together. Okay, and you can even say that. So have her do it. Okay, you do it and have her do it. And then you can even, put your hand. I wonder if I can put my phone down. God, I really need to like create a setup here that works a little bit better. Okay, try this. Ready? You can even take your hand and wrap it around hers and just really ground it. You know what I mean? So ground it in there good and go always together. Another idea too is the idea of the heartstring. And I believe there's even a children's book about the invisible string that connects from their heart to the heart of the parent. And that it is an invisible string that can never be broken, can never be destroyed. It can move through walls. It can go underwater. It can move through time and space. It's an invincible, invisible string. And my daughter and I call it the heartstring. And I always tell her, if you need me, tug on the heartstring. Okay? And I will send you confidence and love and safety through that heartstring from my heart to yours. So that's, an idea there. And another thing that I do with my child, now this is kind of a secular thing, so you may not be into this. It depends on what you're comfortable with. But, I like to get a little woo-woo sometimes. So not hugely woo-woo, but a little woo-woo. And I was given angel cards by a client of mine years ago, and I absolutely love them. And it's great. You like hold a thought in your mind, you shuffle the cards, and then you pull a card, and that card has a picture of an angel and a message. And it's always like a beautiful, affirming message, right? So I do this with my daughter in the mornings, and I started doing it with her before when she went to TK, when she went to a brand new school. She had a lot of separation anxiety then. And so what we did was she would pull a card in the morning, and I would say, see, that angel's coming with you to school today. This is the angel that's looking out for you today. And we would tuck it in her backpack. And I'd say, see, now there you go. You and Zana, the angel, are off to TK together. And it was just a wonderful thing that had her feel a little bit less alone, you know? And it was just tucked safely in her backpack. She probably forgot it was even there by the time she got there. But it just helped give her that sort of, feeling that she wasn't alone. So those are a couple of things that we can do to help our children. Also, remember, if your child doesn't know how to articulate how they're feeling, it does help. There's that, what is it, Dan Siegel says, name it to tame it. So help them, name the feeling. And if they can't name the feeling, you can always say something like, this yucky feeling, right? I have a yucky feeling. Okay? So they may not be able to say anxiety, fear, panic, worry, uncertainty, distress. They may not use those words, but you just say, is it a yucky feeling? Is it a thumbs down feeling? Okay, I got it. I got that you're feeling thumbs down. Oh, I got that, buddy. I really do. And, I just want you to know that I am so proud of you, and that I have seen you do things that you are afraid of. I've seen you move through yucky feelings, and I just know that you can do it. I have 100% confidence in you. And my mentor, Robin Duncan, always said to me, and I loved this, she would say, borrow my certainty. If you don't believe in yourself yet, Jaime, just borrow my certainty until you have your own, okay? Borrow my certainty that this will all work out. So those are some things that we are going to be practicing. And then I'm going to circle back with another video, and I'm going to show you how to use tapping with EFT to tap on the pressure points and what to say to move through your own feelings of anxiety about your child going back to campus. Because if you have anxiety, it's a really good thing to work that out, and then you can help them with theirs. So thank you for watching this very long video today. I hope that some of this was helpful, and I will see you soon. Have a great day.